Welcome to Vedic Verses. In this video, we are bringing you 30 life quotes from the great Acharya Chanakya, documented in his Chanakya Neeti. There is no austerity equal to a balanced mind, and there is no happiness equal to contentment. There is no disease like covetousness and no virtue like mercy. It is better to die than to preserve this life by incurring disgrace. The loss of life causes but a moment's grief, but disgrace brings grief every day of one's life. A man shouldn't live in a place where people are not afraid of the law, are shameless, and there is no clever man, where people lack in kindness, and where exists no creativity or art. Do not be very upright in your dealings, for you would see by going to the forest that straight trees are cut down while crooked ones are left standing. Just as a mirror reflects as a man's face, his personality is reflected in his choice of friends. One must always be careful in forming friendships and acquaintances, for one's friends are in a way an extension of one's inner inclinations and tendencies. Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty in the youth. Treat your kid like a darling for the first 5 years. For the next 5 years, scold them. By the time they turn 16, treat them like a friend. Your grown-up children are your best friends. Humbleness is at the root of self-control. We should not fret for what is past, nor should we be anxious about the future. Men of discernment deal only with the present moment. One whose knowledge is confined to books and whose wealth is in the possession of others can use neither knowledge nor wealth when the need for them arises. There is some self-interest behind every friendship. There is no friendship without self-interests. This is a bitter truth. Till the enemy's weakness is known, he should be kept on friendly terms. There are 3 gems upon this earth: food, water, and pleasing words. Fools consider pieces of rocks as gems. Sinfully acquired wealth may remain for 10 years. In the 11th year, it disappears with even the original stock. There are 2 ways to deal with thorns and wicked people. One is to crush them, and the other is to stay away from them. Test a servant while in the discharge of his duty, a relative in difficulty, a friend in adversity, and a wife in misfortune. He whose son is obedient to him, whose wife's conduct is in accordance with his wishes, and who is content with his riches, has his heaven here on earth. Let not a single day pass without your learning a verse, half a verse, or a fourth of it, or even 1 letter of it, nor without attending to charity, study, and other pious activity. Religious austerities should be practiced alone, study by 2, and singing by 3. A journey should be undertaken by 4, agriculture by 5, and war by many together. Consider again and again the following: the right time, the right friends, the right place, the right means of income, the right ways of spending, and from whom you derive your power. That man who is without religion and mercy should be rejected. A guru without spiritual knowledge should be rejected. The wife with an offensive face should be given up, and so should relatives who are without affection. There is no disease so destructive as lust, no enemy like infatuation, no fire like wrath, and no happiness like spiritual knowledge. The poor wish for wealth, animals for the faculty of speech, men wish for heaven, and godly persons for liberation. The goddess of wealth is unsteady, chanchala, and so is the life breath. The duration of life uncertain, and the place of habitation is uncertain. But in all this inconsistent world, religious merit alone is immovable. The spirit soul goes through his own course of karma, and he himself suffers the good and bad results thereby accrued. By his own actions he entangles himself in samsara, and by his own efforts he extricates himself. Union in privacy with one's wife, boldness, storing away useful items, watchfulness, and not easily trusting others. These 5 things are to be learned from a crow. A wise man should not reveal his loss of wealth, the vexation of his mind, the misconduct of his own wife, base words spoken by others, and disgrace that has befallen him. Of what avail is a high birth if a person is destitute of scholarship? A man who is of low extraction is honored even by the demigods if he is learned. Wise men spend their mornings in discussing gambling, the afternoon discussing the activities of women, and the night hearing about the activities of theft. The first item above refers to the gambling of King Yudhisthira, the great devotee of Krishna. The second item refers to the glorious deeds of Mother Sita, the consort of Lord Ramachandra. The third item hints at the adorable childhood pastimes of Sri Krishna, who stole butter from the elderly cowherd ladies of Gokula. Hence, Chanakya Pandits advises wise persons to spend the morning absorbed in Mahabharata, the afternoon studying Ramayana, and the evening devotedly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear child, if you desire to be free from the cycle of birth and death, then abandon the objects of sense gratification as poison. Drink instead the nectar of forbearance, upright conduct, mercy, cleanliness, and truth.